Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Deborah Leong, and this is going to be the first video in a two-part series focusing on Vasisthasana, the side plank. Vasisthasana is really good for strengthening the shoulder, the side body, and the core. So the core stabilizes us so our pelvis isn't going forward and back, and the side body and the shoulder complex are going to support the balancing portion, or the side arm portion, if you will, of side arm balance, Vasisthasana. The second video is going to be a little bit of a short vinyasa practice, incorporating it into a little bit of a flow. So to create Vasisthasana, I'm going to take my feet. You could do this with me if you like. This part is actually going to be standing. So we can get an idea of the posture without worrying about putting weight on the wrist or the elbow, and get to explore some of these core actions without really putting any stress there, and then deciding if we like to take it to the floor. So Vasisthasana, just so you can see it really quickly, is a side arm balance, in case you're not familiar with the posture. So we're going to take our feet together. I'm going to bring the arm out to the side and pretend I have an imaginary wall. Now, if you actually have a wall nearby, you might like to use it for this, taking the hand to the wall. Now, imagine I wanted to push that wall away from me. I have a lot of strength if my hand is about level with my shoulder, or maybe even slightly higher. If I bring my arm down lower, you can feel there isn't as much force, not as much strength or stability, and it's requiring more flexion at my wrist. Or extension, whichever that is, fingers up, okay? So I want to have the hand level with the shoulder or slightly higher, okay? Now, I want to allow the shoulder to roll open, collarbones broad, shoulder blades, scapula, shoulder blades broad, and as I press down into the hand, I want to feel like I'm lifting away through my shoulder. So I'm creating a little bit of space in the shoulder joint here. Draw the lower belly in, and the lower ribs in, so that I feel a connection between my pelvis and my rib cage. They feel connected. Now, one more little thing is a little added feature, if you like. You can do it with the straight line down the side body, or if you like, you can imagine somebody's poking you in the rib right there, and you're creating a little bit of an arc, trying to move away from it a little bit. Okay, so just to demonstrate from the side, you can see if I have my hand about shoulder high or higher, it's a little bit better for the wrist and a little bit more stable. If I don't engage my core here, my tailbone might jut back, or my pelvis might tuck under, which is less common, but it can happen. And I want to have a neutral pelvis. I want to draw the lower belly in, draw the lower ribs in, and feel that strong connection between the rib cage and the pelvis, nice and strong. Okay? So then on the floor, what that means is, well, I'll show you this from this side first. So I start from a downward dog and shift my weight forward slightly. I take my hand a little bit forward of the shoulder, so that when I'm on my side, the hand is level with the shoulder, or maybe even slightly higher than the shoulder. And then I'm going to roll onto the outer edge of the right foot and stack the feet, press down into this right hand, lift up out of the shoulder, and then I'm going to make sure I roll this shoulder open, roll this arm bone open, which helps at the same time to rotate the rib cage in the opposite direction. Now you can either have a straight line, or that little poke in the rib cage to lift up and create an arch. Now, some ways that we can modify this posture. We could do this on the knee, so I'll change sides. We can do this with the knee on the same side as the hand that we're on the floor, rolling the other leg open, but the same actions apply. Press down into the hand, lift up out of the shoulder, roll this upper arm bone open, and at the same time, rotate the rib cage in the opposite direction. Draw the lower belly in, the lower ribs in, and connect the pelvis to the rib cage so there's a strong core. And then raising the right arm if you like. So that's one variation. Another variation is to take the full plank with the legs straight, with the, not on the knee, but the top leg on the floor is a bit of a kickstand. But again, the same actions apply. Ground down into the hand, lift up out of the shoulder, draw the lower belly in. Exhale as we lower. Now one more variation, and I'm throwing a lot out here. Another variation is to do this on the elbow, on the side, knees bent, elbow under the shoulder or slightly forward of it, either way, whatever's more comfortable for the shoulder joint. If you're keeping that straight line, you definitely want to have the elbow a little bit forward. But if you're creating the arch, it's okay for the elbow to be under the shoulder when you start. Roll that shoulder open, press down into the forearm, lift up out of the shoulder, and then raising the hips and raising the arm. So you can practice it this way as well. Okay? So, I hope you found that helpful. Please feel free to leave comments or questions below if you have any. And I look forward to sharing the second video with you where we just do a nice little vinyasa practice. It's not very long. A little vinyasa, maybe 20 minutes, to get you to explore this posture a little bit. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.